Going live. Not sure anyone's gonna show up. It's mostly a test run. I was trying to test out a tablet. Couldn't get that to work. Not sure what is going on. Who we got here? Oh, good evening. Hi. Yeah, I'm just trying out this live. I was kind of troubleshooting a new piece of hardware, a tablet. Didn't seem to be working, and then I was like, well, I'm all ready to go, so I might as well revert back to the old phone. How you guys doing? What are you guys doing up so late? Isn't it past your bedtimes? What time is it there, by the way? Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, so a little bit of a Guerilla live. I checked and haven't done a live in 11 months. That's basically a year. It's a long time. So I thought maybe I would like start dipping my toe back into it, but I didn't want it to be like an announced thing, you know. I just kind of wanted to ease back into it, so I was kind of fucking around. Let's see. My eyes aren't so good. Uh, See, this is why I try to do it with a tablet because I can't actually read the shit on my phone. See, going live reveals all my visual imparities. See, how is? I think it says how are the Wangs? Yes, we're both good. So, the Empress, it is her busy season at work. So she works crazy hours from about January to May. It's her busy season. So she's still at work. I'm left to my own devices. She works about 12, 13-hour days um, for that part of the year. She works very hard, and most weekends during that time. So we're two ships passing in the night, so don't get to see uh, much of her. So I had this is going to be a short one. I really only had a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Um, I was thinking about the volatility, you know, as we all have been recently in the precious metals prices, and I had this idea. It came to me when I was perusing this listing at a peer-to-peer metal site, which shall be unnamed, but it was like a roll of 20 silver eagles, not a roll, but like a tube, and it was over $400 over spot, just for the tube of regular ass eagles. So that's like over $20 per coin. And I was like, man, this is price gouging. And I've thought that for a while in this recent period of volatility. It's basically price gouging. And we as a consumer block, I don't think we should put up with it. You know, we wouldn't put up with it if they were gouging us for toilet paper or water in an emergency. Now it's not exactly the same. It's not the same as far as degree, but it's the same in principle. Um, they don't need these types of margins to stay afloat. This is gouging, and it's opportunism. And I'm all about consumer protections here in Studio 304. So I was like, what can possibly be done? Wouldn't it be great if, just like regular anti-price gouging measures, they could cap the profits? Well, then what would be a vendor's incentive? So let me cut to the chase. Here's what I thought of. I thought of like a buyer's guild. I like the word guild. So, and this would be a guild for buyers and not sellers. So if you want to sell your shit, you know, you would sell it in the same way. But if a bunch of buyers were to form a guild and enter into an agreement with just like a handful of vendors, or even one vendor, a small amount of vendors, but that were big enough to meet the demand of all these buyers, and the buyers were to pay like an annual membership due, and then the vendor would sell bullion coins, your maples, your eagles, or whatever, not your custom or premium pieces, just your bullion pieces, at a price that was automatically capped over spot, just a couple dollars over spot. So you're guaranteed to get your eagles and your whatever at a capped price over spot, regardless of volatility. And then the incentive for the vendor is they get the dues. So it's like a mutually symbiotic relationship. Buyer's guild. Um, that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know if that idea has any legs. I don't know what the dues would be to make it worth both buyer and seller. I know what I would pay. I would pay like $100 a year, possibly at least, because I would want to buy eagles all the time, and I would end up saving money. And if there's enough people who sign up for the guild, then that one or handful of vendors getting these dues, it seems like it would make them a profit too, or at least incentivize them to have a guaranteed customer base where they can sell at very low over spot. I don't know if that idea has legs. Feel free to let me know. I threw it into Stacker Social. I think they thought I was trying to sell something that already existed, uh, not knowing that I had just thought of it like 2 hours ago. But I don't know. I don't know anything. So it's just an idea, you know. I'm just an idea guy. Let me try to catch up with the comments. Let's see. Lollipop Guild. Yeah, we could call it that. I was thinking of calling it Fair Metals. That might tell you something about the platform where I saw that Recoculus listing that just pissed me off. That was just some straight up opportunism. Like, you don't need that type of profit margin to keep your lights on, whoever you are. Emerald Coast, down in Florida. A lot of stackers in Florida. I actually love Florida. I didn't get to go into Florida proper on my last vacation, but I was on the Gulf Coast. And one of the things I love about the Gulf Coast is the food. So we were in Pascagoula, Mississippi, not too far from the Florida Panhandle. I think culturally and spiritually, it's probably very similar. I know food-wise, it's very similar. Gulf Coast cooking is its own thing. It's this great mix of like Southern soul, Creole, and Cajun, all kind of mixed into one. And we ate this restaurant called Bozo's. It has quite a YouTube presence if you look up Bozo's in Pascagoula, and man, it was just amazing. I could eat food like that 3 meals a day, 365, easily. Had the best fried oysters ever. You'd think there would be good seafood out here in Hawaii, and there is, but believe it or not, there's not great commercial fishing around Hawaii. The waters are too deep. You would be surprised at how much of our seafood is actually imported, and like shellfish, shrimp, oysters, forget about it. It's all imported. I think the last fried oysters I had here was at a Japanese restaurant, and they were nowhere near as good as Gulf Coast oysters. And shrimp is right out of the question. One of my first jobs, I came up in the restaurant game. So I've been working in restaurants since I was 14 years old. I started out as a busboy, working under the table because I was too young to have an actual job. But I've been collecting W-2 since I was 15, with no break. And I started out at a mom and pop barbecue joint in Alabama, and then I moved on up after that into a mom and pop pizza, pasta, and oyster bar restaurant. Pretty eclectic mix. But a lot of the things I learned there, I'm still uh, eating on today. I'm still using like the knife techniques and things I learned there today in my own kitchen. But I worked in the oyster bar a lot, and we would get our oysters uh, every day, fresh from the Gulf in a truck, never frozen. It was 5 hours from my town to the Gulf, and they would come in every morning. They would leave the Gulf at ass o'clock. They would hit us around 9 or 10 a.m., and then I would just shuck boxes of oysters as a teenager. And that's that's hard work, man. Like I had forearms like Popeye after after like a few months there. It was crazy. I had some insane forearm strength. Found a few pearls also. They were not that uncommon to find pearls in those oysters. I probably still have some somewhere. I don't know what the going rate for pearls are anymore. I don't really stack pearls. If you guys hear any ambient noise, again, I live in a building and there's a lot of noise. So I apologize for that. So yeah, oh, dishwasher, busboy, yeah, yeah. I started out as a straight up busboy. I definitely covered dishes more than a few times at probably every restaurant I worked at. The thing that stayed consistent among every restaurant I worked at is that while we all know that recreational drug use in back of the house staff is kind of a thing in restaurants, the dishwasher was without exception always the one who was on the most drugs and on the worst drugs. And if you've covered some dishwashing shifts, you probably know why. But it's true. Another stereotype that's true is that, yes, in the back of the house, everybody is fucking everybody. It's like a crazy soap opera bullshit going on. You know, you got like a bunch of people who skew young. They're probably not the valedictorians of their class. I certainly wasn't. Uh, Probably poor judgment and probably on something, and you know, shit happens. Shit happens in the walk-in cooler. um, so what's new with you guys? Vegas, you know, I bet you have some experience with at least dealing with you know, back of the house people working in hospitality or hospitality adjacent. I think casino would be considered hospitality or adjacent. But yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Rode my 1972 Yamaha two-stroke enduro illegally to get there at 14 years old. See, that's some good memories, man. Kids today don't know like the hustle. It's not just kids today. I think it's kids for like the last few decades. I work with a couple of young people fresh out of college, and or a few young people fresh out of college. It's like they didn't have jobs in high school. You know, that would have been considered weird when I was in high school. I think all of my friends had jobs as soon as we could. And before that, we were doing, you know, like regular kid stuff to earn money, raking leaves, mowing lawns. Remember my grandmother had a giant pecan tree in her yard, and it would shed like just gallons of pecans every year, and me and my brothers would bag them up and go around and sell them door to door. This is when we were probably like 7, 8, and people would buy them, man. Like people down in Alabama wanted them pecans. They wanted to make pies out of them. It's good hustle. Well, they, you know, they might have felt sorry for us too. But hey, cash is cash. So good memories. Oh, Fish is here. What's up, Fish? Real big fan of your stuff, as always. But you know, especially of late, you've been putting putting out some great stuff. Um, I like to see your strategies. You know, you're one of those channels that's like kind of like a bellwether. You know, it's like opening up the Wall Street Journal. Like, wake up, log into YouTube. All right, what's Fish's move today? All right, that's something to consider. Yeah. So, oh, and I think I have a Palladium Eagle sitting here in front of me. I have it out. I was going to send it for grade. You know, I love these things. I only have 3 of them. Just 3. I wish I had more. But they're kind of, you know, pricey. So I've had this one set aside. I didn't put it out for the video, but it's been setting aside because it was gonna go off for grade whenever a shipment of some American stuff finally gets here, so I could lump it all into one box. Because, you know, you have to divide your PCGS submissions into U.S. or world, basically, which is a really ethnocentrist way to use a political buzzword. It's a really ethnocentrist way to divide up the coins, because it's either American or the rest of the world. You know, one country or 176 countries. I get it. I mean, it's an American grading company, but this is going to go in. I re-examined it because it's been sitting out a while, and my heart stopped because I saw this little blemish, and I was like, is that on the coin or the capsule? Dear God, don't let it be on the coin. And I had to, like a surgeon, I gingerly half separated the capsule to rotate it, and the blemish followed the capsule. So I still have hopes that this bad girl can get a 69 or a 70. Thank Christ it's not on the coin. And yeah, I hated to even halfway crack that capsule open, because if you take a Palladium Eagle out of its capsule, you should go to jail. Straight to jail. Don't pass go. That's a crime. It's a felony. But let's see what else is new. Try to catch up. Let's see. Okay, right on. See what's happened. Like, see, I think I've already gone longer than I thought I was gonna go, because this was kind of like a camera test. But you know, I gets to rambling. What's new in the world? The Super Bowl. I'm not a football fan. I don't, and even less than that, I care even less about either the Patriots or the Seahawks. Me and the Empress are pretty big baseball fans. We're both LA Dodgers fans. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we're big Dodgers fans here. And so, you know, we've just been biding our time until the season starts. Super Bowl, I did tune in for the halftime show just to see what the fuss was about, and then I watched it, and then I didn't really get what the fuss was about. This Bad Bunny guy, I don't know who he is. I didn't think his music was bad. It's just not the music I listen to. I listen to mostly heavy metal. Been a metalhead ever since I was a kid. I like good music regardless of the genre, but my day-to-day jam is metal. I like the kind of bands where their band logo looks like a spider's web and you don't know what the fuck it says. That kind of shit. So the fact that he's singing in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish didn't bother me. I don't understand the words to the music I do listen to. You know, so that's complete non-issue to me. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think the guy's a great singer. I didn't get what the fuss was about. If it pisses you off that a guy who's from America speaks Spanish, um, then I would guess that you probably haven't been to a whole lot of places. My wife is from Texas. Spanish and Mexican culture is um, intertwined with Texan culture and throughout the Southwest. Nothing's more American than cowboys, right? Well, the cowboys and vaqueros, which is the root of the word buckaroo, by the way. Um, they're irreconcilable. Or not irreconcilable. They're unintertwinable. Um, I think people maybe not from the Southwest and from certain parts of America don't understand how much Spanish is intertwined with our history. And also, if you come to Hawaii, there's non-English speakers everywhere. Like you go to Chinatown, you walk down the street, everyone's speaking Cantonese. All the shopkeepers are speaking Cantonese. These are Americans. You go to Waipahu, everyone's speaking Tagalog. Waipahu is the Filipino town. They're Americans. They've been here since pre-World War II, since the sugar plantation days of the 1800s. So I don't know. It's foreign to me, getting pissed off about it. Now, what was he singing about? He could have been singing about smoking crack or worshiping Satan or whatever. I don't know. I don't think he was, but it was cool. Don't see what the fuss was about. That was a lot of words to say. I don't see what the fuss was about. And I definitely didn't watch that other halftime show with Kid Rock. Dear Lord. No offense to anyone who likes Kid Rock, but as a like a hard rock and heavy metal fan from ever since I was a wee lad and learned to play guitar, I've always been a hard rock and heavy metal fan. And I remember when Kid Rock hit the scene. I actually remember when he came to public consciousness. It was I think it was 1999. I think he broke at an episode of MTV's Spring Break when that Ba with the Ba song was new. And it sucked then just as much as it sucks now. I remember seeing it and I was like, this fucking sucks. So yeah, I've thought he sucked for over 3 decades now. I don't give a fuck what his political views are. His music sucks. And again, sorry if you like him. That was a little more opinionated than I normally get on this channel. But again, it's live. So, what happens in live stays in live. Yeah. Who else? I mean, props to him, I guess, for still being around. I can't think of anybody else from back then that's still around. He's found a niche and is working it, Got to feed that coke habit of his, I reckon. Okay, let me catch up with the comments. Let's see. Man, I got to really focus here. I think that says, how many cats do I have? We had two. We had an elder cat, Maxie, who lived to be, we think 18, because we're not entirely sure how old she was when we got her, but we had her for since right before we got married. We lived together for a bit before we got married, and right before our wedding, we adopted the cat Maxie as an adult. And best cat ever. If you're not a cat person, if you think they're not in tune with you or don't love you or only suck up for food or not social, you've never met a cat like Maxie. She was truly a blessing in our house. And then a few years down the road, my wife rescued from a park this orange stray named Oscar. And then last year around Christmas time, both of them passed away for separate reasons. Oscar had terminal kidney disease, which a lot of cats have. If you've had a lot of cats, you probably had one who's dealt with kidney issues. And Maxie, old age. She was almost 20, so, or at least 18. Um, and her health issues had been building for years, and it just got to the point where they both passed away. Pretty close in time together, so it was very, very devastating, especially for the Empress. Those were her babies. Of course, I loved having them around, but she especially took it hard. Once she gets out of her work busy season, like I mentioned that she's in right now, I'm quite positive I'm just going to come home one day and there'll be a new cat. That's just how it works. Uh, I don't think I really get a say. I would never tell her no to anything that makes her happy, but and she knows that. So uh, probably by this summertime there'll be a new cat in the house. And we put that picture up um, just a few years ago, and both cats, when the picture first hung up, were freaked out by it. They were like, "What the fuck?" I think that little peek over look that cat has kind of triggers their little kitty hindbrain. So I'm kind of curious to see if the next cat that comes home is similarly freaked out by it. Probably. I don't know if they can help it. Thank you for the sympathy, by the way. Yes. Cat owners love their cats just as much as you dog owners love their dogs. It's the same. Thank you for not being callous. You'd be surprised at how often uh, people are, especially men. It's like a man thing. A lot of men don't want to admit that they like cats or could like cats. Cats are good people, man. They're better than most people I know. I think it's because I identify with them. Let's see what else is new. Um, Really, nothing much. You'll notice that like my regular uploads have been uh, kind of scarce, and like I file myself in the category of uploader who's like look what I just got, and talk about it. That's really all I do. I get some shit and I upload a video. If I'm not getting shit, I don't really upload videos. I don't want to turn this channel into a platform where I just talk about shit like I'm doing now, because I kind of get tired of content creators who do that. Everyone's in love with their own opinions, and like I'm not immune to having an ego, but like you guys don't need to hear me. Cut to the chase. I have a bunch of stuff that I've ordered like uh, weeks and even months ago in one case, and it just hasn't shipped yet. And I think it's due to the volatility. I have a new 2026 gold sovereign, first year with the yellow gold, or the first year in the yellow gold for the last 20 something years, 25, 26 years. And it has this new security feature which may or may not be cool. Can't wait for that to get here. But that's been backed up for weeks. Got some silver on the way. I have one of those Wonder Woman silver medals. I ordered that one in September. And I didn't know it wasn't going to ship until this month, until after I pulled the trigger on it. And that was in September. I'm like, all right, I guess when September rolls around, I'll have a cool thing. Price kind of shitty. I just like the art on it. Um, I don't know. That might be a flip stack kind of thing. Well, my phone just went a little dim, and I think my phone is about to die. And I would like to thank all of you for being with me on this Guerilla Live, unannounced. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comments. I'm going to try to get it working next time on the tablet, so my visual impairment It's not just because of the sunglasses. Um, so I can like read them better and actually be more interactive and respond to you. But I do appreciate you guys being here, joining me in Studio 304. As always, have a great night and cheerio.